Not everybody's trying to defraud the government. That's really the truth. I'm a person who's actually going through this. I want you to think about this number, $1,261. That is the only amount of money that you can possibly make if you are trying to get on disability. Now, if you can't even find a job to even make that. I want you to think about what exactly $1,261 a month would actually buy you. I want you to think about utilities. I want you to think about food, gasoline, car insurance, car payment. I want you to sit down and try to stretch that $1,261, because that is the limitation of what a person who is trying to get access to their Social Security because they have been damaged in an accident, have had a medical condition of some sort. Me personally, I'm down to about one limb. Okay, I'm down to about here. So I actually first attempted this. This is real data behind me. This is my real data. I attempted this in July, right after the accident, but they said it was a little bit early, so let's wait till October. I said fine. So I had a big name attorney file in October, like October 21st, which is like 550 some days. I don't know. It's been a long time. They dropped me without reason, because, well, they thought that just giving a letter to like medical people, that they would just make appointments for me. But that's not the case. If you don't have insurance that's going to cover those appointments, you don't get to go to the doctor, okay? That's the really challenging part. So I want you to think about $1,261 and how much medical premiums you're going to be able to afford with that job. And you can only make $1,261 if you are still working at trying to get your Social Security. I want you to think about that number. That is a reality for every single American. I don't care who you are. So behind me, this actually, it gives some data. Nationally, and this is my benefits page. It's actually showing me that I'm in the step 3 of 5 process here. It says it takes an average of 200 to 230 days to complete decision. And then the average decision is 216 days. I am at 313 days from this application. Okay. So below here, you'll see that in my state, which just so happens to be Indiana, the average medical review takes 165 days. I am at 249 days. So I just want people to understand that the average median range home now is between $419,000 and $426,000. And I want you to think about what $1,261 limitation actually gets you. And then I want you to think about how much you would have to actually make. And roughly it's about $167,000. We'll just say $170,000 a year. That's about how much you need to make in order to afford a home on the median range. However, about only 8.7% of the entire country makes enough money to afford a home on a median range. What kind of a home do you think you can afford? What kind of food do you think you can afford? How cold is your apartment or your home going to be if you are limited to only trying to make, if you're able to get hired, with $1,261? And when we see the averages here, I want you to think about those numbers too, because I'm well over those. I am well over those. I was 480 something days into the first application, which really should never have been withdrawn, but shady lawyers will do that. So pick somebody good, and not the big name. Like, really do your homework. I thought that I did, but I made a mistake. So please be kind to those around you who have went through some kind of a medical disaster and they are trying to get their benefits. Yelling out things like, oh, you're just fraudulent, you just get a job. First of all, they won't hire you. That's why we needed DE&I to make sure that people could get a job if they had an accommodation that they needed. Yeah. So that helps to show that there's accommodations that are needed. There's very small accommodations. For instance, one of my sisters is legally blind. She still works. And some companies did not want to hire her because they had to pay a little bit extra to have a larger monitor for her. And she finally was like, look, I'll buy my own stuff if you let me, so that she could get a job. That's why we needed DE&I. So the same things that you're screaming out, everybody's frauding the government. First off, we pay hefty amounts of money for these benefits they seem to be completely non-existent, especially now. There's websites, but they're not accepting applications. Like, who's really frauding who? And this isn't a complaint. This is just real life. Also, people think you can just go to the food pantry. They literally hand you a couple cans of tuna, 2 boxes of macaroni and cheese, maybe a couple of apples. They tell you that needs to last you for a week. That's not even a day's worth.